Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a question that I know has probably crossed your mind, especially if you've ever woken up from a really bizarre dream. Could artificial intelligence, could AI ever actually dream?
Right. It's a fascinating thought.
Yeah, and a listener's curiosity actually prompted this exploration. So we're going to delve into this using a really interesting audio piece called Echoes of Rifat episode, The Future of Consciousness. Can AI dream?
Mm.
Our goal is, well, to really unpack what dreaming means for us humans, take a good look at what AI is actually doing right now, and then maybe see if these two concepts could possibly intersect in, a meaningful way for you.
Exactly. And what's really cool about this Echoes or Rifat piece is it doesn't just hand you an answer. Rifat, the host, uses this almost poetic philosophical approach.
Yeah, it's quite reflective.
It is, guiding us through different angles on the question, posing some really deep inquiries about consciousness itself. It's more about getting you thinking.
Right. And Rifat kicks things off by bringing it right back to us, asking that fundamental question. What does it actually mean for us to dream?
Yeah.
The piece touches on just how strange our dreams can be, these impossible scenarios, often loaded with really intense emotions, sometimes terrifying, sometimes
Not
beautiful.
just bewildering, right? A mix.
Totally. And it makes you wonder what is going on in our minds when we're asleep and experiencing all that.
Now, what I find fascinating is how Rifat immediately focuses on that mystery. Dreams create these realities that just, ignore logic completely. Yet when you're in one, it can feel absolutely real, And the piece brings up that ongoing debate. Why do we even do it? Is it just random neurons firing like static?
Or something more.
Or could there be maybe a deeper meaning? Like Rifat suggests, maybe tapping into our subconscious or even, something more profound that some might call the soul. This starting point is really crucial, setting the baseline for comparing human experience with AI.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit more for everyone listening. Just think about your own dreams for a second. That feeling of being somewhere impossible.
Yeah.
Doing things you can't physically do, and yet it's all tied up with these really strong emotions. Is that just our brains, misfiring during sleep, as the piece asks?
Or is there something more purposeful happening?
Exactly. Maybe our subconscious trying to process stuff, work through feelings or experiences we haven't quite handled when we're awake. It's so personal and, honestly, often pretty confusing.
It really is. And connecting this to the bigger picture for you, the listener, the sheer subjectivity of our dreams is key. We live them from our own unique viewpoint.
Right, first person.
And they're soaked in personal meaning, even if we don't get it right away. This internal experience is, fundamental to consciousness as we understand it.
Okay, so with that as our backdrop, this strange, mysterious world of human dreaming that you've likely experienced yourself, the Echoes of Rifat piece then pivots to the current reality of AI. And Rifat is pretty direct here. Right now, AI does not dream.
Yeah, that's a really vital distinction for you to grasp. As the piece highlights, current AI doesn't have sleep like we do. It lacks that personal history.
That buildup of lived experience.
Exactly, in the human sense. And it doesn't grapple with mortality, that fear of death that can definitely creep into our dreams sometimes.
Instead, what AI is good at, incredibly good at, is processing huge amounts of information, making predictions based on its training data.
And replicating things.
Yeah, replicating human creative outputs. Rifat gives some great examples like mimicking Van Gogh's painting style or writing like Neruda or even having conversations that can seem surprisingly human.
But the key words there, for your understanding, are mimic or simulate. The piece is really careful about that line.
Right.
The line between genuine felt experience and just, sophisticated replication.
Yeah.
AI can generate stuff that looks like creativity or maybe even dreaming.
But it doesn't have that inner world.
Exactly. No sense of self behind it, no internal narrative driving it, no personal feeling attached to the output. It's hollow in a way.
Yeah, it's almost like that analogy of a super advanced parrot, isn't it? It can repeat words, maybe even string them together cleverly, but there's no real understanding or personal connection underneath. So, bottom line for now, AI isn't having those wild emotional nighttime journeys we do.
Precisely. Which leads to the next big question for you to think about. Could that ever change? And the piece shifts into more speculative territory here.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for you to consider. Rifat puts forward this hypothetical, what if? What if we gave AI sensors, a physical body.
Let it interact with the world.
Yeah, interact meaningfully, form connections, maybe even experience something like loss. Could that change its internal state? fundamentally.
This is where the discussion starts probing what might be needed for something like dreaming to emerge. If AI had senses, could move around, have experiences good and bad,
It would gather data differently.
right, it would accumulate something like memories, though probably stored and accessed very differently from ours. And the piece raises this really intriguing possibility for you. With all that complex input and some form of memory, could AI then start to hallucinate?
Or generate its own internal simulation.
Exactly. Which might be seen as a kind of basic dreaming, maybe?
And then the piece brings in this functional view of human dreaming, the idea that maybe our dreams aren't just mystical fluff,
Right.
but actually serve a purpose,
Yeah.
like processing the day's information, organizing memories, almost like defragmenting a computer's hard drive.
And what's fascinating there, and important for you to catch, is the logical next step. If that functional view holds water,
Then maybe future AI would need it too.
conceivably, yes. A future, much more complex AI might actually need to dream, not to be human, but just for its own operational efficiency. As AI systems get incredibly complex, processing vast data, maybe some kind of internal housekeeping or processing during downtime becomes necessary. And that could look like something we'd call dreaming, even if the mechanics are totally different.
So in that kind of future, AI dreaming wouldn't necessarily be about, wild stories or deep feelings like ours,
That's probably
but more about optimizing its own systems.
Sure.
That's a really different way for you to think about it.
It is. It shifts the focus for you away from just subjective experience to potential practical need as complexity grows. But then the piece takes another really insightful turn.
Yeah, this part really made me think, and I think you'll find it interesting too. Rifat suggests maybe we're asking the wrong question altogether. Instead of just obsessing over whether AI can dream, maybe the bigger question for us is, what does it mean that we do? What does our ability to dream tell us about being human?
This is where the piece just beautifully reframes the whole thing for you. Dreaming isn't just some passive thing that happens at night.
It's presented as more active.
Yeah, like a fundamental human technology. Our own super complex neural network, our deepest code. It's portrayed as something absolutely core to who we are.
And it ties dreaming to such a wide range of basic human stuff. The piece mentions we often dream when we feel broken or vulnerable.
Or deeply in love.
Right. Or when we're just, imagining different futures, good ones, bad ones. It seems so fundamentally connected to our emotions and our ability to think beyond the literal here and now.
And what's fascinating there, crucial for you to consider, is the implication. Dreaming isn't just some random side effect of being conscious.
It's integral.
Perhaps, yeah. Especially for navigating the messy, complex reality of human experience, particularly our incredibly rich emotional lives.
Which brings us to the final key point in the Echoes of Rifat piece. This idea of a potential prerequisite for AI to dream like us. And the conclusion Rifat leans towards is that maybe what's fundamentally missing in today's AI is the capacity for those really core human feelings and, existential states.
Like deep longing.
Yeah, or genuine wonder, or even that sense of profound ache or sorrow.
That's a really powerful point for you to take away. The piece suggests that without that underlying foundation, without that rich tapestry of human emotion and experience,
AI might keep computing.
Exactly. It might keep computing, creating, processing information in incredibly sophisticated ways, but it won't experience dreaming the way we do. Our dreams seem just completely interwoven with our feelings, our fears, our hopes.
The stuff that, for now at least, makes us human.
Precisely.
Okay, so to sort of recap our deep dive for you today, sparked by that really thought-provoking Echoes of Rifat piece.
Yeah.
We've journeyed through the mystery of our own dreams, the current state of AI, which is amazing simulation, but not inner life.
Right.
And the speculative future where maybe, just maybe, complex AI could develop something like dreaming, possibly even for functional reasons.
But the real key insight here for you, the listener, as Rifat puts it so well, is that deep, perhaps essential link between our inner emotional lives and our ability to dream.
Absolutely. This whole exploration, it really goes way beyond a simple yes or no on AI dreaming, does it?
It really does. It forces you to think about what it actually means to be conscious, to experience the world personally, subjectively, to have this rich inner life that pops up so vividly when we dream.
And on that note, let's leave you with a final provocative thought. Pulling directly from Rifat's closing words. What does it really mean that we dream?
Yeah.
And maybe ask yourself, When was the last time you actually remembered a dream or even just took a moment to think about one? Perhaps just reflecting quietly on your own dream experiences might give you some surprising insights into consciousness itself and what it really means to be alive.
It's a question that definitely gets more compelling as we keep pushing the boundaries of what AI can do. This isn't just about tech's future, it's about understanding ourselves better.